Hello guys, my name is Javidan and today I will show you how to create boxes in HTML with CSS. So those HTML boxes. Like for example here I'm going to open YouTube. Now what I mean is this one right here. These little boxes, that's what we call divs. Basically divs itself is useful for not only styling but also containing L HTML elements like tags. This one right here, tags, gaming tags, or this one, the drawer. Now I'm going to teach you how to create a simple div box with HTML. Now open up your 4 text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code right here. This is my preferred text editor, but you can also use stuff like Sublime text editor or Atom.io, which I highly not recommend it. I highly not recommend since Atom.io was deprecated. I heard it was deprecated. I don't know. Now as you can see, this is our HTML. Now for those who don't know how to use it, for those who don't know how to create this, all you have to do really is, if you are on Visual Studio, type doc, then it will be suggested to you. But for those who still don't know, simply type HTML followed by the closing tag and the body and the head. Now as you can see, we are going to get rid of this. This is from our last video. We don't need that. Now go ahead and type div. Now as you can see, if we open our HTML file, we see nothing. That's because we haven't added any style yet. Now to use CSS style, all you have to do really is type this link style sheet. Hold on, let me separate this. Rel style sheet, href, and the path, the directory to your CSS file. Here, since my CSS file name is style.css, I will type style.css. This is what we call external CSS. You can do internal CSS like this, encode it that way, but it's not really cleaner and organized in my opinion, or in everybody's opinion, and most importantly, it puts too much pressure on your HTML file. Basically, it makes your HTML file not only heavy but also slow to load if you are planning to create a website, hosting it on a web server. So that's why you keep it separate. Add a CSS file right here. Create a CSS file and create an HTML file. You can ignore this JavaScript file from the last tutorial. You do that by pressing this create file button right here, and then name your stuff, for example, and add .css if you want to create a CSS file, or .html if you want to create an HTML file right here. Anyways, let's get coding, shall we? Now this is our div. We are going to add a class. Name your class whatever you want. For this tutorial, we are going to just name it box1. Now in order to style this div, add .box1. This is the name of your class, CSS class. and the dot itself is an indicator of that of your custom CSS class, or just CSS class. Now type the background color. We're just going to set it to blue. Cool thing about Visual Studio is that if you click on this color box here, or in this case just hover around, you can add like custom color. So there we go. For this tutorial we are going to keep it simple, just call it blue. Fun fact, you can also add a hex color code, like for example here hashtag. There we go. That isn't a real hex color code, but yeah. Now you might think that this will make a difference, right? Of course not. We have to specify the width and the height of our div box here, width and height. Let's just say that we are going to make a box, so 50 px, we are going to use the px 50 by 50. This is the standard right here, px, always use that. Now as you can see, we have this tiny box. Let's just say that we want to resize this tiny box. There we go. We are not really limited to just creating boxes. We can reshape it in such a way that it resemble like this. We can also like adjust the border width of this box, border radius px. There we go. That's a bit of an ass. We can also place multiple div boxes on top of each other, so we are going to create a new div box right here and call it class box 2. Just clone this by copy paste or select this and type Control Alt Shift and the down. Get it? Alt Shift and the down arrow, like that. Now as you can see, rename it to box 2. Now considering that we are we are stacking divs, we are going to add a specific CSS code, a string, here red. This time we are going to get rid of the border radius. Type z index 1, and this one z index 2. There we go. Oh, now if we take a look, as you can see, it is not stacking. That's because we need to configure the position, and for that the position is pretty much almost the same. Position relative. Now there is a difference between relative and absolute. Relative is, it means that the position itself is relative to the screen right here, meanwhile absolute means that the position of the div boxes, it will be depends on the position of this existing blue box, meaning that it depends on the nested div. So for example, if I copy and paste this, alright, then, and I'm going to adjust this div box right here, div box 2, I'm not going to use the position relative because that is designed for div box 1. I'm going to use the position absolute since div box 2 is located inside div box 1. Now we're not going to toy with that. As you can see, relative top left. There we go. Position. And you can also add this multiple times. You can stack them together. Change 3. Z. There we go. Stack them. We can also change the property from 2 to 3, and this will swap the location like so. And yeah, this is basically how to create div boxes. Here, border, radius. So yeah, if you guys find this tutorial very helpful, be sure to give my channel a subscribe, leave this video with thumbs up and a comment, share this video on your social media account. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.